There we go. Okay, now it says we're live. Just gotta wait for, ads. I learned the power of love and friendship. Is this the episode I just trolled nothing but pony storm?
That's your call, motherfucker.
The tags are pretty great too. Welcome to stream, everybody. We are back. Sorry I was not here last week. I needed to take a sort of mental health break for my own sake. Did make this in the meantime, though. So they got a new intro card. Hopefully Disney doesn't get upset, because it's basically a trace. But, I've made it more us. I'm joined by Storm Song and Andy once again.
On swag. Hey, Maze.
Hello, Maze. Welcome to another stream.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Maze Windu.
Maze Window.
He's got a lavender-colored lightsaber.
Lavender. So, today, we are going to try to play something called, people have been around enough probably to know what the monster game is. But
Indeed. The Kaiju Builder.
Yes, Kaiju Builder. But we were going to try something a little bit different today, and rather than build a kaiju, we're going to make a giant robot. And Andy, you said that this has some differences to it, so...
Yeah, there's going to be slight differences to the rule, as I'll explain. Generally, it comes in 6 pieces.
Yes.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. No, head, body, legs, arms, special, and tail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we're building is like a giant robot or a mech of some sort, so it's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
We'll just pull it from.
What'd you say,
I'm
Andy?
going to draw a big
roll
happy face in the meantime.
Alright. Now, since there's only 3 of us, and I'm the agitator.
The agitator, what a way to put it. I figured we would involve chat with this.
Yeah.
We can. How would we?
I can just keep track of chat and have them vote, and
Yeah.
I'll pretend to be, moderate and impartial.
Yeah, we do that here totally.
But so far, we don't have too many people in chat.
Well, I figure, we've done this before where it's like, whoever guesses the number first gets to decide it for that.
16 people in chat, and AK Lone Wolf, what's up? Hippocampus and Maze here have all revealed themselves. Also, hi guys.
Hello.
Lone Wolf says, this is the face I would draw on my ween when I get down and dirty with a woman.
Oh.
Okay, with that, Andy, educate us.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I mean, if we're gonna let you do it, then no, Kitty, please don't.
No, it starts.
Not right now, Kitty, please go.
Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't, Andy. Tell us an update on your fat, spoiled cats.
Well, Tiger wants attention, and she does that by stomping on the keyboard, and now I've lost Twitch and everything.
Oh no. We're off to a flying start.
She should know enough right now that the keyboard is a no-go place to go, but she gets on it and she looks at me. She just steps on it.
Clearly she doesn't care. She's
Got
like, pay
food,
attention to me, father.
Tiger. She's a weird cat. When she wants my attention, but when I start holding her, she'll let me hold her for like a second or two, and then she'll squirm and jump out.
That sounds like cat.
All right. Okay. Well, if we're gonna do like a chat thing, then instead of rolling for a person, maybe I should just go down the list.
I mean, we could do that. Like I said, I thought we were just gonna pick a number and whoever guesses it, or is the one that gets to decide for that. Man, I'm having a hard time drawing teeth right now.
Well, I mean, like, I'll go down, like, the piece, and then we'll let them roll, and whoever gets it can, get it.
Okay.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that sounds like it'll work.
So I'm just going to use a D20, not a 100. Or, actually, no, I'll do it 100, because that leaves a bigger thing, right?
I guess.
And I'm going to go ahead and list the criteria for the robot.
Okay.
Now, normally we had head, torso, arms, legs, tail, and special. On the robot, we're going to have head, torso, legs, left arm, right arm, and theme. And theme is, we're going to theme is like, maybe like the feel of the robot. Like, maybe if someone gets themed, they like, oh, make it look like something Xeon would make, or make it look Gundam-like, or make it look spiky, or make it look evil, make it look holy, or make it look post-punk, or something like that, right?
Okay.
All right. So, and since we're going to do it by the players, I'm going to roll a number, and then everyone's going to guess, and the one that gets it gets to choose the part. The first part we're going to go ahead and start with is the torso.
Okay.
All right. A number between 1 and 100.
Me or you're talking to Chad?
Talking to chat.
Ah, okay.
Unless you guys want to have a go at it too.
No, it's fine. Let's do it this way.
Am I picking the number or are you, Andy?
I rolled the number for it.
Ah.
Using a dice thing that I like to use, an online dice. So, all right, we got people guessing already. Do 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 do. What's that?
Isn't that like the Lavender Town theme?
He's been dead for like so many. What? Really?
I don't know.
Okay, I just got told that Bob Barker told us to stop, even though he's dead, so we can't sing that song anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, that was
Bob Barker.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds, but so far we've got 3 numbers. Storm Song, if you could make the Jeopardy countdown song, but try to induce anxiety, how would you do it?
Wait, Bob Barker wasn't on Jeopardy.
I would do... Well, speaking of the Jeopardy song, though, I would shift it so that it uses neighboring tones rather than full steps, and then I would augment all of the chords to be 9th chords with flattened and or diminished fifths. This would create extreme tension. Basically, everything would start to sound kind of out of key. I would then generally speed it up and have a low-frequency oscillator below it, which would basically do the same thing that most Resident Evil soundtracks do to your ass.
Resident.
Awesome. I had no idea, and I did not understand a word you said, but I'll take your word for it because you're the sound engineer.
Ha-ha!
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call it now. The winner is... The number that was picked was 12. That means Quintless is the winner, and he gets to pick the torso for the giant robot. Everybody cheer. Yay!
Yay!
Okay. So what has he picked for torso?
Let's see. Come on, Quintless. What is the torso of our mech/giant robot? Yay!
It's one of your biblically accurate answers, Storm.
Also, let's try not to keep it too silly, you know.
That would probably be a helpful thing.
I don't want an arm that's like the arm of a teddy bear or something.
I mean, I could make that work, but, you know.
Giant robot with a teddy bear. I was like, why?
Also, I don't know what I'm drawing right now, but, you know. It'd be like that sometimes.
As in what? Animal or car or just Voltron torso? Like giant robot torso. Ah, gee, that isn't, like, you know, what? Oh, I didn't think about that.
What?
Like, what do you mean by torso? It's like giant robot torso. Like, I mean, you can get an idea for
Well, like,
car.
I mean, think about it in terms of, like... What?
All right, trash can torso.
Trash
Okay,
can.
so like Urban Mech or R2D2 style.
Yeah, yeah. R2D2 or Urban Mech style. How about that?
Okay, that works.
I'm gonna write it
There's
down,
that. Yep.
or you could write it down as well.
I'm writing it down more for myself right now because then I'll remember, but, you know. If you want to write it down as well, go ahead. Okay, so he's going to have a really round torso.
I think like cylindrical.
Yeah, I kind of figured it'd be like along those lines.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's next?
All right, we're gonna start with legs. No kitty, get off the keyboard. I should just hop up. All right, rolling the dice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pick a number between 1 and 100. Starting now.
Here we go, Mr. Pinky. I don't know what else to call him.
What?
The thing that I'm drawing. I gave him a knife. Why? Because of reasons.
We call him the Legion Sense of Inhibition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the timer. I'm gonna make the countdown timer for 2 minutes.
I mean, I don't want it to drag this out too long. You know. Because...
I also assumed you were only doing it, well, I guess do it twice with the chat and then... Or no, 3 times with the chat and then 1 with each of us.
Oh, I could do it twice with the chat, 2 times with you guys. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So this will be the last chat one.
This will be last chat.
Okay. That works.
And Quintless, I hope you don't mind, but could we let the would you mind letting you know, if we let everybody
Everyone gets to go once.
Yeah.
So, or yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having World of Warcraft like anxiety now because the first time I had to run a dungeon. Oh God. Like usually when you roll on stuff in a dungeon, like you get 1 roll, and I was the first time and I was kind of nervous about it, and like one guy got a 2nd roll and I was trying to explain to him how that was usually dungeon etiquette, and he like threw a fit and a whole bunch of people quit. And I felt bad because like I didn't specify it, but that was typical like dungeon etiquette. Like you get 1. It was like need or greed. Need was like I need this, and greed was like you can roll on anything. But if you need something, it got priority. But you can only have 1 need roll, right?
Yeah.
I felt bad because I felt like
I mean,
you know,
I don't know why you had to get into a huff over it, but you know.
you know, some people.
I mean,
Some people
I
are
get
mean.
it. Some stuff can get you hot under the collar more than others.
By the way, this is all right. That's the timer. So it's for legs. I hope I stated that. But all right, let's see. What number was it? All right. Silicon Soul, you're technically the winner. So pick legs for our mech that so far has a torso of a trash can. That looks like a Mad Cat torso. Are you trying to tell us something?
I
Is
was
this how you
working on a
feel
Mad
about-
Cat.
Is this how you feel about Mad Cats? You think they're
I like Mad Cats. They're a fun mech.
Mad Cats go in a trash can. But yes, Silicon
Just
Soul,
electron.
pick the legs. Robotic
Just electron
legs
a Mad
for a
Cat.
giant mech.
Why not draw robots? Well, then we need to draw robots. I'm actually just trying to see if I can draw this from memory, and I mean, you caught on right away. It's a Mad Cat, so that's good. Doing
All
something
right. So he says legs of a T-Rex. So we're gonna go like T-Rex like legs. Powerful Tertigrade? Tertigrade? What is it called?
I said digigrade. I mean, maybe that's not what I'm thinking of.
Tertigrade,
But
that's it.
Yeah.
once again, I have drawn on the wrong layer, but that's an easy fix. So. As far as clan mechs go, the Mad Cat's a pretty fun one.
Yeah.
I like the Blood Asp a lot too. That's another scary one. Just a 90-ton monster with dual Gauss rifles. Or plasma PPCs if you played Mecha Soul 2. Okay, so we got what's next?
All right. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go back to our normal thing. So let's see. All right. I'll let you be the next one in line, Krispy.
All right.
All right. What I got?
What
Pick,
do I want to?
Hold on. I've got everything so spread out.
Yeah, it happens.
Left arm.
Ooh, left arm. I'm gonna say, like like a rocket punch arm, like Big O arm.
Sounds good.
Nope.
Now, Storm, would you like to have the other arm, or would you like to just roll and have it where there's a chance that he gets the other arm?
I'll roll. So what was the left arm?
He wanted a rocket punch arm, like
Okay,
Big
yeah,
O.
that's right. Yeah. You know what? I'll take the other arm.
Alrighty.
Shield arm.
All right.
Like
Alright.
beefy shield arm.
All right. Do you want that medium rare, or do you want that well done? A beefy arm.
I prefer rare.
Rare it will be. Ah, fuck it. I
All
forget
right.
exactly how. I mean, I know what shape the Mad Cat's feet are. I just forget like which toesies are where.
Alrighty. Are we ready for the next piece?
I am drawing this from memory, so I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, let's do the next one.
All right, Krispy, you're going to make Storm Song cry with this one, but you get the head.
Excellent.
No flying wheels of crying eldritch babies
You know
tied by
what?
chains.
I'm gonna be based. I'm gonna be based, and I'm gonna make it like a Zaku head.
All
Okay,
right.
so Cyclops head.
Yeah. So They have a LRM-20, don't they? You know what? We're gonna do this the smart way.
Did you write that down, Krispy?
Yeah. I wrote down the head. I was waiting for Storm to go next.
All right, Storm Song, it's your turn, and this one is, like I said, it's I don't know if I call it abstract, but it's the theme of the robot. And I would say theme like when you see either
I get what you mean by theme.
maybe what faction would create this giant robot, or just a general it's spiky or it's nightly or something like that.
Its body should be covered with twisting wings wreathed in eyes and flames.
God,
no!
Storm.
No. So let's see. Theme. Let's overview the other parts again. We have Zaku head, shield arm, rocket punch arm, digigrade legs, and a
great legs like a T-Rex.
Yeah. And trash can body. So I am going to say that it is. Give me a moment to think about that theme, because I actually want this to be good.
Actually, I was wondering, torso. Quintus. We're gonna go with if he doesn't answer, we're gonna go with your typical cartoon round torso. But does he mean that, or does he mean
like a little trash can?
Like a trash, like the ones we got today that are the big square ones that the truck comes and flips over. Not the one that won the Urbamech, the typical one.
No, I get what you mean. I just figured if we're talking trash can in regards to a giant robot, I just was gonna go with a stereotypical metal trash can.
Yeah. Okay. Round ripped one.
Yeah. I will say then that the theme is kind of 90s extreme hardcore grim aesthetic. Just go as not grim necessarily, but everything's extreme in the 90s.
So 90s
extreme. Do that.
What's 90s extreme? The only thing I can think of with 90s is everything had those weird shapes all over the place, like a circle and a triangle and a square, and they're different colors.
Well, I'm thinking of something say, Gundam Wing or something in terms of that.
Okay, you know what? No, I have a perfect one, and this is for Krispy. Whoever the pilot is has blinged this thing out, has, done its paint job, its aesthetic and everything, to represent their absolute godless love of punk music.
Now we're talking.
Also, the mech has a mohawk.
So, punk van art?
Yeah.
Oh, we can
punk
do that.
Van art.
Yeah, there we go. So it's a punk mech.
Fuck yeah. We're gonna make this thing great.
Oh, got it.
Good thing is, I'm kind of used to drawing the shapes of legs that it has, so that helps a lot. Because digigrade legs are actually
it's
tricky.
pretty much... Well, to be honest, I think most mechs have the reverse, we call them chicken legs, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah. There are some mechs, I know the Nova Cat's kind of the big one that I can think of off the top of my head that have the digigrade legs, but outside of Battletech it's somewhat common. I guess it just really depends on what you're watching or what you're playing.
Yeah. Nova Cat.
Yeah. That's a fun one. Lasers for days.
And he said T-Rex, so give it 3 clawed.
Oh, I can do that, yeah. I'm gonna have to keep shrinking this as I work. That's the one downside, because it's gonna grow in scale.
What did we say for him? Oh, Zaku. Zaku with if it's punk, a Zaku with the spike mohawk.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting Liberty Spikes. It's definitely getting Liberty Spikes.
Like Statue of Liberty spikes?
No, like you never saw those, like the punk hairstyle Liberty spikes. It was just
I
like
didn't know they're
the spike. Yeah, that's the name of them.
It's a spiked mohawk. A mohawk, technically by itself, would just be.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know spiked mohawk. I didn't know they're called Liberty spikes.
Yeah, that's the actual term for them.
When I think Liberty spikes, I think of the crown of the Statue of Liberty.
I mean, that's kind of the idea, is just basing it off of that. So,
like, imagine if someone took their bangs and like spiked them out like that, like a tiara.
I mean, I bet you that's been done.
I'm sure it has. There's nothing new under the sun, right?
The punk aesthetic is interesting.
In answer to your question, Andy, King Solomon, and yes.
Really, it was Solomon?
Yeah, Book of Ecclesiastes.
Oh, was that before or after he summoned all the demons? I'm joking. I'm joking.
Somewhere in the middle.
Labels.
That was King Solomon's mind, which was.
I'm good.
That's where that whole thing came from, right, Storm?
The thing about the demons is folklore / stuff that was added on later. Oftentimes by kind of a lot of the European occultist writers who were essentially trying to merge their occult traditions with Christian traditions in order to, like, avoid being persecuted.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually listening to a podcast kind of talking about a cult today, the Order of the Solar Temple, and they did that. They had, like, Christian belief
Order of the
mixed in
Solar
with,
Temple
like,
were
Knights
fucking crazy.
Yes, they were. They absolutely were.
Yeah, those boys.
They blew themselves up and set their chalets on fire.
Yeah, they wasn't fully right.
I mean, they're not the most dramatic of cults. They were actually just more like a secret society than anything. But yeah.
I mean, they did kill a lot of people, though.
Oh, God.
I mean, it was a mass suicide, but yeah. I forget how many it was.
Well, several of those people didn't end up wanting to commit aforementioned.
A lot of them actually didn't. Not to get too into the gears of the details on Twitch, but it's an interesting story, I guess, suppose. But I'm into that weird shit.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things, like.
Yeah, who would have thought cults are not, like, full of stable people?
Oh God, I just had an idea for another one of these.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Voltron Builder.
Oh.
Now there's an idea.
Oh.
So
we have to build each robot in succession with the idea of they will be joined at some point.
It's a robot. Yeah. Well, no, it's like the full robot, but each part is made of an animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
if we,
one is
I think it would probably be. It would probably be like left arm, left leg, right leg, torso.
Actually, wait. I'm doing this the dumb way.
The head usually isn't its own animal, right?
No, it usually pops out of the leader. Although sometimes it is. Like I know, like Devastator in the original Transformers, his head was one of the combiners itself.
I guess the head could be its own thing.
It can, yeah. Well, it's like I was, it's a little side project for myself. I've wanted to draw my own take on the Combaticons from Transformers for years. And I was kind of thinking about that the other day, because somebody was saying I should go for it, and how I would make that work. And I'd actually kind of do it differently, where I would have one of them be the head, and one would be like the main body, and the others would be the arms and legs. Because here's the thing, when you look at like the Combaticons in the original Transformers, their scale in terms of what the vehicles are is just wildly different from one another. So if I'd want to keep it that way, I'd have to, I don't know. It was just more like a thought exercise of something I could do then whenever I get around to actually doing that. I don't know when that's going to be, but it'd be a fun to do.
Remember when I suggested, like if somehow Optimus Prime and Megatron fused together and it made, like, I was going to, like, Optitronus Prime or something like that, but apparently or Megatron is already a thing, like...
Yeah, Megatronus is
Mega Prime or something like that.
Haleon says one should be the head of a duck.
I would love to have one of them be a duck.
No, the bill. No. It would be like the Dragon Zord. The top bill would be like the bill of a hat, but the bottom bill would open up and reveal a face.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like it's wearing a baseball hat. That's a duck.
I'll be right back, gents.
Alrighty. So it's not exactly a trash can torso because I did want to give it a waist to twist with, but you know.
The waist that could twist it like. It's not what.
Well, it's just more like the shaping than in anything.
Yeah.
But we'll make it work.
So I've never really been into punk rock. To be honest, I wasn't like hyper like, these people there get a job, but I was like, I just don't like the aesthetic of it. But
I mean, that's fair.
There was always the one bad guy that looked like that in cartoons, like the spike mohawk and the spiked shoulder pads, and he's like rolling a chain around.
That's not intentional. That kind of goes back to the culture wars of the 80s, but like the whole idea of punk originally, and I don't want to sound like I'm a fucking hipster or anything. I think this stuff is interesting, and I've listened to some podcasts that talk about the history of punk, and a lot of it really was just people trying experimental stuff. Like, the whole look and everything kind of came later, and was kind of like the scene turning into like a more, I guess you could say, cliquey kind of thing, if that makes sense.
I feel like it was not, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, like, I don't want to say defiant, more like we're like, we don't want to be, I mean, new, yeah, but it's like different, like not anti-classical, but
well, it's counterculture. That's what a lot of it comes down
basically.
To. Yeah, and there was a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of really awesome music that came out of that time period. I mean, and the whole like stereotypical punk look definitely didn't apply to everyone. I mean, one of my favorite bands is The Damned, and one of their lead singer literally dresses up like Dracula. That's not even an exaggeration. He's got like a whole vampire look to him. And another guy's wearing like a pink fuzzy suit. But man, they had some great music, and they were like a British punk band. They definitely like got up to some stuff, but nothing
I bet.
super crazy. Yeah, well, it's a lot of them were just like kids. I mean, a lot of them were like early 20s or and such when they were making these bands, or like late teens. But they made an entire thing of music, and then like I mean, I grew up with mostly I was listening to like the more pop punk stuff that came in like the 90s and 2000s. I only really started getting into the older stuff, a few years ago. But I've really enjoyed it. I found a lot of really good music in it. And, a lot of those bands actually evolved into other stuff. I mean, the band New Order?
No.
The song Blue Monday? It was like, how does it feel?
No, I don't think so.
They were actually a post-punk band called Joy Division originally, and it's funny because you see them and they just look like a bunch of dudes that got out of the office, and they're just playing this music that was way different than
punk.
anything.
We're going to be the opposite of punk.
I mean, that honestly, that was part of it that happened with a lot of the scene. I mean, you had people that were like the whole, I guess, straight edge punks, where it's just like we're too cool to get drunk and stuff like everyone else. Like that, we don't need that shit to be cool.
Well, that reminds me of what was it, the emo goths from South Park. It's like, if you don't dress like us and act like us, then you're a conformist.
I mean, that's kind of when the scene kind of got codified.
Yeah, no conformist here.
Okay. Oh man. Alright, let's see here. I'm trying to think about how I can add details to this without making it more tedious than I need it to be. So we're gonna do this.
Do you think it would be funny to add like a handle to the front, like right underneath the snout, like a trash can handle? But it's not meant to be a trash can handle. It's supposed to be like, you know how the handle they have a handle on the tall keys underneath the cockpit.
Yeah, like a hand holder, step ladder almost, like.
Yeah.
I return.
Hey.
I think this is coming along nicely.
So is the torso turned? Is the torso turned to face the camera, like 100%?
Yeah, like it's straight on. I'll add details to it as I go. I'm just kind of trying to get
That's
the
fine.
basic shape down. So, what is Chad up to, by the way? I don't think we've checked on Chad for a bit.
Helion was talking about the punk Rex. Wozup says the ox is not a cult, we promise. Helion suggested the duck head, and one of the robots needs to be a weasel. Little Willie says one needs to be barefoot. Maze is currently showering. We await his return in glory.
Oh, I hope he has a shower bear.
Ramshackle brings up the
definitely...
Ramshackle brings up the terrifying possibility of the return of the Krispy Chapel.
Honestly,
Maze
if I had a
says he is
chapel
back.
full of my shitpost art, I would love that.
Maze says he is back from his shower. May the heavens quake in his glory.
Like, you know how cathedrals got built over generations, it's just like a Sistine Chapel, but it's just all sorts of shit I've drawn on stream. Yeah, look at that.
So if it's you, like left side with your finger pointed out, who are you pointing your finger at? Like who's also returning your finger?
Do you even have to say? It's probably Whacker.
Yeah.
And then you have Helion in the background strumming a harp.
Yeah,
Fred
that's it.
Durst.
Yeah.
I did it for the Wookiees!
I forget who said it to me. It might have been Jiggles or somebody, but saying about how Fred Durst now looks like Master Roshi, and I just can't unsee it.
Oh, there's a picture that goes around. It was Whacker.
Oh yeah,
also.
yeah.
I mean-
dude.
Master Roshi is like all about chilling, you know?
Yeah, he did it all for the Nookie.
I mean, to be honest, yeah. Though it doesn't really seem like he's ever like. Could you imagine like in one series, like they just have a bunch of Roshi's kids showing up? Like it turns out that he was very promiscuous, and like he's got like 12 kids that show up at like, or even grandchildren. They just show up and they're like, you know, we've been looking for you.
I want to see that episode of Mari. That's where I'm at on that one.
Why do you think he's on that island? I'm trying to avoid
Oh my
alimony.
god, what if that is the
Right.
reason? It's just like, they'll never find me here for that child support money.
I mean, it's also just a trope in Japanese writing of, like, the pervy old man.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that, you know, forgive it, but isn't that what hentai means? Like, pervy old man?
No, hentai means pervert, or perverted.
Oh.
Yeah, it lives up to that name.
Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed that sometimes they have, like, an old wise man that has, like, generally a really bad flaw, you know? Like, there's a lot of good in him, and he's, like, capable of doing a lot of things, but he's also got this flaw that's like, don't know about you.
Yeah. And then he gets killed, and then you have to avenge him, and he's like, tell me when you find a Radio Shack.
I saw this movie that was, I think it's from, like, either the 80s or the 90s, but, like, basically it was, like, American guy finds this, like, old monk dude, and he teaches him, like, kung fu or something.
You mean Karate Kid?
No, it's not Karate Kid. the Karate Kid would be like pretty much older, and I don't know. I think it's in. I don't know where it is, but basically, the guy rescues his lady interest from like these mercenaries or something.
Yeah.
And they run across and they find out the old man is like across the river, like and he runs across the water. The old man.
Oh, he does the ninja thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And when he gets over there, he's like, "Oh, by the way, this is Lisa." And like she says, "How you do?" And the old man looks at her and says, "Women should have stay home and make babies."
What the fuck?
And they look at him for a moment, like in the movie, it's like they seriously sit there and look at him for a moment, like, what? Jesus. And then they have to start running away because the mercenaries start shooting at him. But it's like,
it's like, man, why you gotta be like that?
Most of it, he's just like your typical, like, oh, you must become part of the wind, or you must focus. And then that bombshell dropped.
Yeah, that's whose idea was to put that in the movie.
I don't know. It's that's why I remember. That's like mostly the part I remember from that movie was like just.
Okay, so the movie is called Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins.
Wait, I have that. I have it on DVD.
How do you know that?
Google. I typed in the line, "Women should stay home and make babies," and they brought up the scene.
All right. Well, it looks like we're having a movie night because I've got that.
Jeez.
I didn't know that was a scene in it. I just got the movie because Dex was talking about it.
WBPL does not endorse that kind of treatment of women.
No, we don't. We don't.
I'm not quite sure, but I think it was implied that she also was trying to like do martial arts.
Oh, I guess that's like the '80s way of, like women in power. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here.
No, it wasn't.
Fonty Boy Pim, or however you pronounce that, announces to us, "Funny how Twitch advertises an erectile dysfunction pill during this conversation."
Oh my god.
Wait, Kate Mulgrew was in this?
Who?
The woman who plays Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager.
No shit.
You know what, Krispy?
Oh my god, she's the lead female.
Alright, we gotta watch this movie.
If you were an old Kung Fu master and you saw Janeway... Please, no!
I've run...
I'm gonna run across the river!
Yeah, he's running across the river to escape her because he knows what'll happen if she catches him.
As a matter of fact, you should not have babies. We don't need more genocide.
They really should have given her an eye patch.
Oh,
they do in one episode.
Oh, excellent.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Stormstrong, you're a big techie guy, right? Trekkie. So
Yeah.
the evil universe, where all the guys have goatees, how do you tell a lady if she's from an evil universe? Do they got goatees too, or what?
No, they're usually dressed in like Conan the Barbarian style bikini uniforms.
I'm gonna refrain from what I was going
Is it
to
like
say.
slave? Like is it like really oppressive to the female persuasion?
No, they just all of the men wear sleeveless shirts and all of the women have showing midriffs. Well, okay, in the original series. In the later stuff, there's less of that, especially if the female is one of the captains, like Janeway. We don't see Evil Universe Next Gen. We do see Evil Universe DS9, but at that point, the human empire is destroyed, and humans are like living all Star Wars Cantina-esque, like we're all criminals, so they all dress like that. In Voyager, we don't see the evil universe, but we see a portrayal of Janeway and her crew as if they were evil from the perspective of a race that fought with Voyager like 1,000 years before. And it's basically like a propaganda film, and in that, they just go to town on how evil they make everyone look.
Got to.
Oh yeah, they call it the Terran Empire. I remember that.
Yeah. And then we see the evil universe in what's it called? Enterprise, and in that, it's basically the same as original series, but with the older uniforms.
I do like those flight suit uniforms. So
I imagine this guy runs around the arena like blocking shots, and then he runs up and like just piston punches people.
Oh, totally.
What music does this guy play in his cockpit when he's doing that? Since he's like punk aesthetic.
Yeah,
the
Fun Boy
music from
is.
Megas XLR.
I dig giant robots. You dig giant robots.
I unironically
dig giant robots.
I unironically put that soundtrack on my MP3 player. Yes, I have an MP3 player.
Yep.
Oh, I think I'm gonna need to change music here. Oh.
The only thing they do to make Janeway look evil is they pull her hair back a little tighter than usual and give her black gloves.
As one does.
Wouldn't evil Janeway be like, as hard as she's trying, she cannot commit genocide for some reason?
Oh, no. Like, there's no pretense. Like, she executes people on stage. Granted, again, that this is a version of Janeway that is a bad archaeologist doing propaganda, but...
Oh.
They give the Doctor, like, evil reptile eyes. Chakotay's tattoo covers, like, half of his face.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a funny little bit of everything. Living Witness, that's the name of the episode.
There we go. Rocket.
So it's not a piston punch arm, it's literally a rocket arm. Like...
Oh, I guess we could do a piston.
Yeah, no, well, it's up to you. You came up with the arm. Like, when I think rocket arm, like when it blasts, like it makes the mech go forward.
I had that thought as well. I think pitch. As much as I like the rocket arm idea, I think the piston is probably the way to go.
No, you can do it every way you want. It's your choice.
That's fair. I tend to second guess myself. Surprising, I know. But,
I mean, we're gonna draw this and forget about it. You know, it's.
I've saved all my drawings.
I did like the idea of turning this into a card game or something like that.
I think it'd be a fun game we could play. I'm certainly enjoying this.
I remember the one that was like, eventually we just said he just likes to sit at his abandoned home and play like old Dreamcast games.
What?
It was, I forgot what it was called, but it was like one of our kaiju. It had a slime body and like...
Oh, the gobbledygoo.
I think it was the gobbledygoo. He just likes to sit home and play Dreamcast. He's like hugely misunderstood. He's actually a nice guy.
You want to know something fun?
What's that?
So, I have a friend of mine who has a tattoo shop. I might have mentioned this on stream before, but long story short, I talked to him about hanging up some of my art over there, and he agreed. And one of the pieces that I hung up was the gobbledygoo. So it is currently on the wall of a tattoo shop.
God,
I am pleased by that.
I don't know how I'm going to feel if I see someone with that tattoo on them.
I would shit.
I had a part of someone's tattoo, and I don't know if I'm comfortable. I
mean, I'd make tattoos for people. Granite wants me to draw him a tattoo.
I tattoo me. Would you tattoo me?
Tatooine?
Alright. Tatooine?
Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
So the next one is a big, bulky shield. Big, meaty shield.
Yeah. I know, I'll get that to say. I just wanted to touch up some stuff. You can also see the leg lines are a bit thicker because I had reduced them in size. But, you know.
Yeah, I bet if this is a punk rocker mech or something like that, he probably's got spikes on the shield so he can like shield ram people.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm working on that thing we talked about yesterday, Krispy, with like simplifying the character sheet so it's,
Yes.
more approachable. And I've realized there is a good half of the problem is having all of the formula written straight out on the character sheets.
Yeah.
As opposed to, no, the formula is going to be in the book. The character sheet is there to write stuff in. The book is there to read about how to write the stuff in.
Yeah, that's definitely something to trim down.
Also finding a few other things. I think
help designing like actual character sheets for them, I can help you. I've got the software. I can do, that sort of design work.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to wait to hit you with it until, like, I have something that I can show to people and have them all be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alright,
yes.
So he gets that big, spiky shield arm.
Yes, Logic Nullifier. I am making an RPG. It's a setting I've been working on for a long time. I've been working on a system with another friend of ours named Jaden. The system was sort of initially his idea. I'm kind of using it as sort of a template. But it is a roll under D100 system. Whacker's in chat. And says, I wish to apologize to the world at large for what this group of nincompoops is inflicting on everyone in general. This is true.
Hey, Whacker, you're in this stream too. Look, see, there you are.
Hey, Whacker. Get your sexy ass in here. Dun da da. Whacker says, God damn it. But yeah, back to the Logic Nullifier's question. So yeah, we've been doing kind of a test pseudo campaign. So we're on hold right now as I continue to miniaturize and adjust systems within it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a space opera kind of setting with, knights piloting giant robots, Imperial battle mages at the prow of massive space dreadnoughts, sword fighting on spaceships kind of stuff.
Yeah, very.
Is it logical? No. Is it cool? God damn yes.
It's like 5-star stories.
Space opera, which I guess is starting to become its own. Nah, man, it's got to be beefier, bulkier.
The shield, do you think? Okay, we can make it bigger.
Like, the shield should almost be a weapon unto itself.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna change that real quick.
I would think the top would be just above its shoulder, and the bottom would be just below its knee.
So there are guns and not just swords, and yes, there are in-universe reasons, some of them more fantasy-based, some of them more logically based. The big one is typically that melee weapons are preferred during boarding combat of ships because you don't want to discharge something that can just go through the hull, especially if you're trying to take the ship a prize. But there are other logics. One of the big ones having to do with the alchemy in the setting is expensive enough that alchemically enhanced armor, as something you're going to use recurrently, is logistically cheaper than alchemically enhanced ammo, which may or may not, stuff like that. So there's many reasons, but at some point I could give all the reasons in the world and it doesn't actually make sense, so it just comes down to it is the rule of cool. But yes, there are in-universe reasons.
Yeah. I'll say from experience, sometimes you just gotta be like, just gotta do it this way because I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've run into this problem, Storm, but if you're like, do you draw, like when you're drawing stuff, do you sometimes just draw stuff over and over trying to figure it out and just, it gets stuck in your head? Or is that just a me thing?
No, I've done that before.
Yeah. Like, I get so caught up on details for stuff that people probably won't care that much about. Like, the thing I've been getting me this week is I'm trying to draw some armor for my setting, and I want it to look similar to the power armor in a way, in terms of just, like, aesthetic, but I just don't want it to look like, too similar, and it's just been, like, me racking my brain with that unnecessarily.
Yeah.
When you say power armor, like, as a juxta who, like, 40k or Halo?
I will show you, actually. Let me see here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the best way to describe the setting would be, um, I am a man who grew up loving Age of Empires 2, and at some point I wanted to do Age of Empires 2 in space. But not just like
Yeah.
with space races. I wanted space Teutons and space Franks and space Sarsens and space samurai and so forth.
So this is the older version, but it's kind of the relativeness I'm talking about. You know, I'm still going for a similar look here. I'm just tweaking it to make it a bit simpler to draw because there's a lot of detail in here that I could cut down on if I'm going to be doing a comic project.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it.
Thanks. No, yeah, I like it too, but I have a friend of mine who does like animations and stuff, and he said something to me that's kind of stuck with me since I've been working on this comic more and more. And it's like, you know, draw something that you're gonna be able to draw over and over and over again with relative ease. And while I do like how those look, I also want to try and simplify it and also kind of stylize it in an interesting way. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still trying
Also,
to... I have a style, but I'm just trying to tweak it, you know?
Lord Frill says the power region supply should be in the butt region for safety.
Yes, no one will think to shoot it in the ass. Yeah.
That one guy that kicks it in the butt when it run away and it just falls over, explodes.
Yeah, just a nuclear mushroom clown.
I was just give him a playful kick in the butt. I didn't know it could cause a Heisenberg effect or something.
It has 2 radiation symbols on both ass cheeks.
You don't want to see. You don't want to hear this mech clap.
Oh, God.
Logic nullifier. If you want to toss me your Discord in a whisper chat, and we can talk more about RPG design stuff at your leisure.
Gotta give him the Cyclops eye.
I'm trying to imagine that sound that Azaku makes when it goes online, like that.
Yeah. The iconic sound.
Now, are you gonna give it the like you said the Liberty?
Oh,
horns?
yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to draw the face real quick. Now it's getting a little
Cool.
exciting. Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. Let's see. I think what other punk stuff I can do to him.
I would say at this point it's largely a color scheme.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking also, like, if you've played Brigador, the Corvid Rebels, they got like a punk thing to them.
Mm-hmm.
What's the equivalent of a pocket chain for this thing?
Oh, I know what we could do for that.
It's the chain of command. It's the chain he pulls
Oh, God,
out
it's
and
good.
beats you with, till you obey his command.
Ah, shit! My eraser was too big.
By the way, how did your painting come out? Your miniature.
I'm still working on it a bit, but it's getting there. I'm mostly doing like touch-up stuff to it now.
Good.
Let's see. I'd pull a picture of it, but it's on my phone. So,
Oh, that's all.
Yeah. I've been posting it over in like the Merrick Workshop and stuff in the aux, so people may have seen it already. But yeah, I'm working on a Blood Asp for people that don't know, which is one of my favorite assault mechs. Which is a long list. I like assault mechs, but I'm painting it up in the style of the Blood Asp from Mech Assault 2, or at least kind of an homage to that. So yeah, here we go. He's got the scorpion chain.
Scorpion cord!
Yes. That's another thing from my setting that Andy is playing a member of, or former member of, as at that point they are a defuncted group.
Alright.
So yeah, just send me a thing to that. Is
Do some greebling. If you know what that is.
where you add all the little lines to make it look more mechanized.
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
Ah, rivets.
Yep.
Riveting. Kind of reminds me of when Johnny Five goes punk at the end of the second Short Circuit movie.
You know, I've actually never
that
seen
makes
it.
me mad.
I've never actually seen Short Circuit.
Oh, we should fix that at some point.
Yeah. All right. There's so many movies I want to watch with Krispy just to like get an understanding of how he, thinks about it and all that.
I mean, I'm down to watch stuff.
I
Yeah,
think a
movie
lot of the
nights.
shit that went on in the '80s would either blow Krispy's mind or just.
I mean, there's plenty of 80s movies I'm familiar with, There's just like certain ones, I guess, I haven't really checked out for one reason or another.
To be honest, I need to watch Chappie because I suspect that Chappie is a weird, like, spiritual successor to that.
Kinda, yeah, it's... I thought it was kind of weird they kind of had that one singer chick in it. Her music was weird, but overall it's an interesting story, I suppose.
That reminds me of, I've been seeing articles where people are randomly seeing robots walking down the street. The first video, I think I linked you one. I posted the comments, number 5 is alive!
That seems like some weird made-up stuff. I don't know.
Pretty sure
I'd be
it's
surprised if there's robots walking around.
I'm pretty sure it's like, 1, it's probably a test, and 2, it's probably a marketing campaign. Like, hey, look, a robot. They can walk down the street.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is fun until they get robbed, because apparently that happens.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Hitchbot.
Yeah, that food one.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing, too. It's like, everyone wants to do it's like, oh, I want a robot to deliver my food, and then it's like, it gets stolen.
Yeah, until, like, it tilts over, rights itself, turns to the assaulted, and then, like, 2 machine guns, like, pip out. Red light starts shining, and it's like, vacate the premises immediately.
Oh, imagine Ed 209 delivering your pizza.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here is your pizza. This isn't what I ordered. This complies with your order. Please pay.
You have 5 seconds.
If you have 5 seconds to tip.
Exactly.
Sensible.
Let's see here. How much more detail do I want to add to this?
The problem with that is if you live upstairs, the Ed 209 turns around, just falls down.
Yeah, you have to. It doesn't do stairs, which is always kind of weird to me that it didn't do stairs. But it's the '80s.
I think the idea behind that was to show that, and I think they even said it in the movie, like it was over
Engineered.
over-engineered, like it wasn't really meant to be the best. It was supposed. It's basically just to sell something to the military to get money. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
over-engineered, but not a lot of thought put into it. You know.
Hmm.
I mean, if you look at it, it looks impressive, but you know, sometimes you put things on the field, and it turns out that gets stuck in the mud a little too easily, or something like that. You know.
Yeah. They made him look really menacing in the remake. Although that remake was kind of like not necessary.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is they did exactly what they were programmed to do. Like,
Oh yes.
they didn't like shoot things that were considered innocent, and if you were a threat, it blew you up. And I
That's
remember a
one
lot
of
of people when the kid pulled a knife out and one of them gunned him down. Some of the guys I went to the gaming club with said on the battlefield, like, once you pull a knife out, that's it. Like, you know, a weapon is a weapon.
Hmm.
I can see that. Alright.
I still don't like the idea of, like, you know, robot police, because, you know, there's
I mean, I
my
would
problem
imagine
is,
most
like,
people don't.
especially if they share a Wi-Fi, that means somebody could hack into the whole Wi-Fi system and, like, basically have a free army of God knows what.
That's literally the plot of a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Funny
And
that.
also, and interesting how that kind of came true to a degree. Is just drones are everywhere now. Anyway,
There is a Japanese company that had a bunch of little robot designs and such like that, and apparently one night, one of these little robots started going around and, like, telling the other robots to follow it.
huh?
I think eventually they stopped. He had his own little tiny robot army following him around, and I think they got stuck on an elevator or something like that. It's kind of funny.
Imagine being a janitor working in that building at night, and you just see them march down the hall.
Dun 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 dun.
Or it's just playing the battle droid music from Star Wars.
Dun dun da 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 dun da da dun da dun.
Little Willie,
Dun 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 dun.
I'm sure it was a knife, like a proper knife, like kitchen size knife. It definitely wasn't like a switchblade or a butter knife. It was a proper,
Does
like,
that happen in the movie?
yeah. It's in the beginning when, like, basically it's like quote unquote Iraq or something like that with the robot battalion.
Are you talking about the remake? Oh, okay.
The remake.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, I'm surprised they put that in the first RoboCop, but yeah.
No, in the first
Makes a lot of
one,
sense
so
then.
far, RoboCop is the only robot that we know. Technically, he's a cyborg, but
Well, then there's RoboCop 2.
yeah, they make. For some reason, they decide to make, you know. Oh, actually, I know why. They thought that his drug addiction would make him easy to control. Like, hey, you want some of this? You better behave.
nothing's more dependable than a junkie.
Well, also like a strong will to live or something. Like they try it. Everybody that they
No, I mean, I know, yeah.
like, you know, they have the robot come out, scream, and pull his own head off and all that.
That part was so metal.
Kane lives in death. Wait, wrong Kane. Nuke Kane.
Oh, yeah. It's gotta be Kane!
A Lawnmower Man
Right
animation.
back.
That'd be a weird series to, like, do a remake of. Lawnmower Man.
Yeah. The first sign of psychosis is a Christ complex.
Hell, they wouldn't even have to remake it. They'd be like, Lawnmower Man has been, you know, hiding, and then, like, somebody takes a floppy disk and puts it in a computer, and it's like, I am free.
Yeah.
I am going to take over the world through a digital space. Let me see. What is this 4chan? Let me go. Oh, God. Ah! He disintegrates.
Yep.
Ninja Turtle says, speaking of Nuke, has Krispy witnessed a KOTOR recap?
No.
I-
Oh my god, yeah, no.
Oh no. What did I miss?
Okay, so I'm gonna show you something after stream.
I'm
Oh yeah, I
scared.
missed the last
I
one.
mean, we could show it to you on stream, but I don't know if you'd be able to do the audio and stuff right, midstream. But we had Squick
Yeah.
read the opening for our previous episode of my what do you call it? My playthrough of KOTOR.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Excellent.
But yeah.
Can we do like a Star Wars edit where he voices Yoda?
That is a pistol, anarchic doctor. It's a piston arm, like from Big O.
Yes.
Big O! Big O!
Gave him some spikes in his shield as well.
Aww.
One day I'd like to do.
Yeah.
One day I'd like to do a role play where I am a battle butler.
Oh, so you're like was Norman? Is the thing?
Norman, Walter, or
Alfred.
Sebastian, Alfred,
Sebastian. Yep.
basically old skinny butler that follows around and is very attentive to his master, and like suddenly he pulls out daggers and starts killing everybody.
Yeah, or like a 12 gauge.
Also, the butler in, I don't know if he's in the games, but in the Tomb Raider movies.
I didn't know he was a badass.
Well, he's at least good with a shotgun.
What is it? I don't subscribe to the no gun policy my master of the house does.
Yeah, I think Alfred says that too in the Batman comic. All right, I think I'm good on putting detail on this for now. Well, maybe one more thing.
Maybe some spikes on the kneecaps.
Oh yeah, good point. Can certainly use that.
Actually, do you need a skull anywhere like this?
Not really. The skulls are more like a metal thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Occasionally you see it in Punk, but yeah, it's more of a metal thing.
Yeah.
Skibbity doo wop, skibbity riz.
Where do we put the Aquila? What? No? Okay.
Why is the
No.
music in Star Wars called Jizz?
Oh,
Seriously,
God.
why?
I would love for George to answer that, but I don't want to know if I want to know the answer.
Female Twi'leks don't have ears.
Wait, really?
No, they don't. That is weird now that you mention that. Why don't they have ears?
What happened
Males
to my
do,
ears,
females don't.
George?
Oh, George.
I like the emoji was up put. It's just like this little green guy writing shit down.
Man, shit.
What's a tartan?
Tartan, like the color pattern on a kilt or
Oh,
otherwise
God.
plaid.
That's gonna be such a pain in the ass to do a tartan pattern.
That's why you do a cheapo version. Haha!
Probably could, yeah. Now, let's see. What colors do I want to make this?
What did someone call this mech a while ago that we thought was funny?
I don't remember.
Someone called it the Ubaturion, like I guess a Centurion urban mech.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Let me see here.
Oh, the Punk Rex.
See, the thing is, like, punk outfits are mostly, at least the stereotypical ones, I guess you can say. Oh, there's some colorful ones. Okay. Oh, God, that does a lot of tartar. Oh, no.
What is tartar? Or
The
tartan?
the plaid sort of look.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. Punk art. Looking that up for some ideas didn't exactly help either because it's a lot of collage stuff.
I thought that was flannel.
Flannel is usually made using plaid, but a tartan is like the house pattern.
Concentrated.
It's also something that, you know, I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth too far, but I am going to say that there's some debate as to the authenticity of a lot of clan tartans.
Yeah,
at the very least.
I can see
Part
that.
of it's because there was a craze for a while of like selling people like their noble family crests or whatever, saying like, oh yeah, your family actually came from this, you know, big line of this and that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm trying to look for some coloring ideas here.
And
I was gonna say you can cut out the tartan and just like underlay it, like the underlay the layer, and then cut it out.
I probably could, but this isn't as. I mean, I probably could do that. I just don't know how well it would be like versus like Photoshop.
That's fine. That's
terms of how
sorry
it
for
looks.
interrupting you, Storm.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just like
that's okay.
at a loss for how I want to color this. Just screw it. I'm just gonna pick a color and go with it.
Just the toes. Yeah, silicone. So, but yeah, no, so there was a period of time where a lot of these, like, family history stuff, like, would try to basically sell you, like, oh, this was your family crest, you know, your family blah, blah, blah. And you could basically see them selling people the same thing again and again, saying, like, oh, your family was this noble blah.
Yeah.
And it was something that people would buy up because everyone likes the idea of being descended from nobility or something, which is hilarious. Not because it's, you know, shallow or anything, but because, although you can make an argument for that, that's not why I'm saying it's hilarious. It's hilarious because if you go back 14 generations, and I'm picking 14 because that's one I had dealt with as a historian, you have 16,000 ancestors. One of them is bound to be nobility.
Yeah.
I've been told that we're like distant relatives of either of Charlemagne or a cousin of Charlemagne's.
I mean, possible if your last name's Martel, or someone in your family has that last name, that's always distinctly possible.
I think it was from my grandpa's side because their last name was Joyce.
Joyeux.
Yeah, that too.
When I see this thing, imagine this thing running around. I know it's not punk, but I imagine this music is like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, like Motley Crue, you mean?
Yeah.
I can see that. Let's see. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Ah! Selection tool, why you betray me?
Yeah, kickstart my heart.
Yeah. I figured that's what you meant. I take it you're not a big Motley Crue guy. Not that I am. But...
I'm not good at like putting names and stuff and all that, I'd have to listen to it a lot and a lot and a lot. It's not that I'm not a Motley Crue fan. It's just I didn't like go out of my
Fair
way
enough.
to like most of the music I listen to that I like sometimes is just already fed to me enough as it is. So I kind of don't bother learning the name of it, which I wish I would, and I wish I could remember it better, but I don't. And, you know, sometimes I'm wondering if I'm gonna have like a bad. Sometimes I'm scared I'm gonna have like dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't want that either. That's something that scares me. Not that it necessarily runs in the family, but I don't know if it's a genetic thing. I gotta say, this is coming better. Together a lot better than I expected it to, but you know.
Tiger, stop using my belly as a jumping board. It hurt.
Having fun over there, Andy.
You're not a little kitty anymore. You're like almost 3 years old. You know, you're like 4 or 5 pounds.
Wow, that's it?
I actually don't know how much she weighs. She's your typical cat size. I don't know. Maybe she's 5 pounds.
I'm just saying because, well, I mean, granted, he eats a lot, but when we took Pudding for his first vet appointment, he's 10 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. He's a thick boy.
Last time, I think you showed me Pudding. He was like a little kitten. What the hell, man?
Oh, he got big, man. Well, I mean, it's been like a year. He just had his first birthday last week.
I'd like to take my cats to a checkup. I can't afford it.
Yeah, thankfully we have insurance for that.
Would you insure me? I'd insure me.
Ugh. Insurance is a scam, I swear. But that's a whole other conversation we don't need to get into. You know what? Let's see here. That's the tricky part about drawing a gray background, is that you gotta be mindful of the color sometimes. Thankfully, I've gotten kind of good at figuring color stuff out. I actually used to draw with like a pure white background because that's kind of the default with a lot of these programs, but I'm glad I switched to a gray one because it's easier on the eyes. Let's see. This definitely looks like something that was cobbled together in a junkyard, which is good.
Think it's a Frankenmac?
Absolutely.
What's the closest to a Zaku head in BattleTech?
I don't really
Probably-
have that, is the thing.
Well, I was gonna say probably the Shadowhawk because it has a head a little bit like a Leo.
A little bit. At least it definitely does in the
HBS
Airbrains.
version.
Yeah, the HBS version definitely does have that sort of look to it. But yeah, it's. I mean, considering that like most mechs, with very few exceptions, I'm pretty sure, have cockpits in the head. Yeah, you don't really see like a Zaku eye on them. I guess the closest I can think of is maybe like the Celestials. But they're like a whole other thing.
Mhm.
They're wicked nasty. I would love if Catalyst released minis of them, because I've kind of gotten into like the Word of Blake stuff because they got a lot of cool shit. I know that people aren't necessarily fans of that era of BattleTech, but there is some cool stuff in it. Let's see. How's chat doing, by the way?
Let's see. Kickstart My Heart. Hope it never stops. Yeah, Bully Snake is a fan of our good friends. Motley Crue. For some reason, Guns N' Roses is what my brain wanted to say.
You know, I also had that thought as well.
Derpshire says Andy's taste in music is of two categories, stuff he likes and stuff he doesn't. Names and details, well, we don't have time for that. What's Up does a little cat dance, Quinn List. Okay.
I think when it comes to music, it's like the old adage, I don't know much about it, but I know what I like.
Logic Nullifier says... Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Logic Nullifier says cats are God's greatest creation. Their cat is big, fat, dumb, and they love her.
Oh.
Almost no mechs have mobile heads. Quinlist says Cyclops, Mayhap.
I think the Atlas has... its head can turn.
Yeah.
There's some mechs their heads can turn. It's not a lot, though. I think, yeah, most of them tend to be immobile.
Fuck it.
'Cause
Immobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
If mechs have like the neural thing, where like you'd probably want a mech to be as close to the human body or something like that as you want, to be honest.
That's one of the arguments in my setting.
Yeah, I mean, Battletech doesn't really stick to that. Not that I'm complaining. I like the designs of the mechs. It's just, you know, you get more animalistic ones, which I'm just like, how does that work with the neural helmet?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
Probably
idea,
some like translation or something going on.
I suppose.
We only like it only affects the body, you know.
Maybe it's just more of like a sensory thing than like actually just necessarily being one with the machine. Unless it's like a proto-mech, because I think that's kind of what those are like. Not that they're really a thing in the setting anymore, but...
Maybe we're not supposed to put too much thought into it.
Probably not. It's sci-fi. It's fun sci-fi. At the end of the day, it's just like... Yeah,
in the
you can
rare...
get picky on stuff, but...
In this particularly rare occasion where I'll actually agree with Rail's sentiments on art, don't get me wrong, I love Rail, we just have very different opinions on certain things. Don't put more thought into it than the author did.
Fair enough.
Or at least,
honest,
don't expect others to put more thought into it than the author did.
That's half my problem when I draw shit, is I put more thought into it than I'm expecting the audience to.
That's fair.
Sometimes I think that's where some of the fun things come from, is like basically fan theory or fan headcanon that like explains a lot or adds to a story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if it's writing fan fiction, that's fine.
I think more what we're talking about in the case of what Rail said and where I agree with him is there's a lot of times people take that stuff so far that they start saying like, well, it doesn't make sense if X, or like, well, that's stupid because of Y, and it's like, or you could all stop trying to be nostalgia critic and just have fun and watch it.
Yeah. No, I feel
sometimes
that way.
you just need to shut your brain off and eat your goddamn popcorn.
Yep.
It's like,
sorry.
Here's the thing that people don't necessarily think about in Battletech. They don't have artificial gravity. In Battletech, ships are supposed to have grav decks. And the rest of it's going to be 0G. And you don't really see that. But, and they hand wave a lot of it too. But, I don't care, because the ships look really cool. And at the same time, do you really want that to be just like something you focus on in a game that's supposed to be about ground combat?
Mm-hmm.
We're just like getting nitpicky about Star Wars stuff too. It's like I'm willing to like get nitpicky about some stuff, but at a certain point, it's like it's Star Wars.
Yeah. And like that's also not to shit on anybody that has fun getting into nitpicky. It's more the people that keep others from having fun by getting so into the mix.
That's more it, yeah. Because I mean, I'll get nitpicky in cities too. I don't want to make it sound like I don't. Like I like one of my things that I like to do is like read it down wiki holes just to get ideas for like world building and stuff. Like I've been reading a lot into the Word of Blake stuff because I want to put something like that. Not necessarily the Word of Blake, but just something of that idea into the setting. Because they have a lot of interesting cyborg stuff when it comes to their units that they use.
Yeah.
Like what is it, the Mayor Domini? That's kind of their
By the way,
elite troops.
Storm Song.
Yeah.
Like, how far do people get cybernized in your campaign? Like, do they get like Atom Smasher or RoboCop levels where it's like there's probably a brain in a jar and maybe a few organs and that's it?
That's usually a sign of somebody who's been through a lot of injury. Cyberization is usually specific, and I would call it conservative isn't the right word, but like you do what you need to, and anything beyond that becomes excessive.
Mm-hmm.
But there does come a point where like, because there's also the factor that a lot of it's also done through genetic manipulation, so like Jaegers and Hushkarls and other sort of super soldiers, often the things done to them are done through their biological factors before cybernetics are introduced.
Gotcha.
So bio-augmentation's a bigger thing than mechanical, which would kind of make sense.
At least at first. Once you start moving into like a lot of soldiers, mercenaries, etc., who get enough bodily injury, like you will see people who eventually become a brain in a jar.
Oh, I'm sure.
You have some cases like one of the characters, Rokai, in the setting, has this thing where at some point somebody's attacking him and he's mostly sword fighting, but somebody gets him like up against a wall and he's more of a speed fighter. And this guy's, outstrengthed him and pins him up against the wall. He presses his hands into like a soft spot in the guy's stomach where he knows there's no armor. And then you just hear a shotgun go off.
Oh, metal.
And the guy falls to the ground screaming. And he pulls a shotgun shell out of his like waistcoat or something, lifts up his sleeve and loads it into his arm, and then cocks his shoulder right there.
Oh.
Do you have like...
I want a shotgun arm.
I'm sure you would have individuals that are like, I want to be a machine.
I mean, there are individuals like that. Yeah, that's par for the course of the setting.
Do you have like cults like that, like Adeptus Mechanicus levels?
The Hephaesians can get there at times, because
Hephaesians?
they're like the Hephaesians are kind of what happened when my brain tried to square the circle between the Mechanicus, the Vulcans from Star Wars, from Star Trek, the Church of the Broken God from SCP, and Jedi.
Interesting.
So this like very logic-oriented, very be impassive, sort of like logic-oriented culture.
Gotcha. Kind of like Mentats, almost.
Yeah, almost like Mentats.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing something sort of similar to that in my setting, but it's more like cybernetics because it's very much like Homeworld, where you have people that are essentially the processors of the intelligence in a machine because they got rid of the AI.
Yeah, and that's the case in my setting, where a lot of the there is a minimalization of AI in the setting. Not a complete purging of it, but it's better if people are the ones able to do it. Now, what's not uncommon then is, say, like, see a security officer walking around, and there's a node on him that's controlling like half a dozen drones that are walking throughout the ship.
Now, there's a fun idea.
Mm-hmm. Stuff like
These
that.
These flames are not looking good.
Little Willie brings up that in order to become a Celestial, you had to be uber cyberized.
Yep. They tended to do that to their mortally wounded warriors to turn them into the Domini, or like the ones who had serious injuries. And both the Celestials and they actually had battle armor that the Domini used that were cybernetically augmentable.
Yeah. Also, is that spelled with
lives,
is Domini spelled with an E at the end?
No, it's an I.
Okay, then you are pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah. I know a bit of Latin, just because, growing up Catholic and all that.
Understandable.
I was trying to figure out, like, what fear Arden would have, and I was almost going with fire, but because one of his like tragedies or story backgrounds was like he got heavily burned or scarred, and I think he said that's what probably got him his underskin from drafting, and they got him the underskin.
Oh, his armor, like the subdermal armor he wears, or not wears, has.
Yeah, I would think like it wasn't just a fire, but he probably got pinned over a bunch of like, steel beams and stuff.
Yeah. So fear of being crushed.
Probably being crushed and in a fire at the same time. So because I'm not like I don't think he has anything that he's like if he sees it he starts hyperventilating like.
Yeah, it's not a phobia, but it is an uncomfortable fear for him.
Yeah.
He's hooked on a feeling.
I mean, the thing that would probably cause him to have most like emotional instability would be seeing pirates of
emotional damage.
Like he's probably one of the guys that like, oh, pirates, just blow them out of the sky.
Yeah, he not a fan.
Not a fan.
I mean, he would probably be a shoo-in for the Imperial Anti-Piracy Corps, but that also I feel like even he would probably raise an eyebrow at that because they're not nice people. So one of the ideas in the setting is that piracy itself is not considered the biggest crime in the world, and if you're just guilty of piracy, then, whatever normal laws, be that, being shot to death or, imprisoned or whatever. But because one of the so-called imperial dignities is their complete abolition of chattel slavery, if you're found guilty of chattel slavery in the setting, like, the Imperium will just murder people over that. And it's not even just because of human rights, but what emperor can have pride in ruling over slaves? He should rule over free men. That is an emperor. That's kind of like their way of thinking of it. Obviously designed by whoever put it in place to protect people from slavery within an otherwise oligarchical society.
That's an interesting take on it. I like it.
Mm-hmm. But then, with that in mind, because chattel slavery is so specifically forbidden, it is something that is largely engaged in by certain pirate groups, so the Imperial Anti-Piracy Corps was formed. The thing is, the Imperial Anti-Piracy Corps, they're a very elite military order that derive their members from other military groups, so they only hire veterans, they only hire specialists. And they are given very broad powers to, as the Imperium would put it, make very public examples.
I would think it wouldn't be normal pirates, but it would be traitor, like, what am I trying to think of? Like,
yes, they're very Jinro the Wolf Brigade.
Well, no, I mean like the pirates that particularly Arden would be like, oh, they basically like turn into Terminator mode and be, just start tearing them all apart. Not just any pirates, basically pirates that have like betrayed their faction or something like that.
Oh, okay, so what's the word? Mutineers, not mutineers, deserters.
Kinda. Mm-hmm. But maybe not just like deserting, but like killed. Like they're not just their like
traitors,
but they're like hardcore traitors.
Yeah.
I forget that's the anarchy symbol, but it's fine.
He would particularly have that hatred because of, what happened to his mentor. Yeah, defector.
I don't want to necessarily give it full Megas look with the flames, but I'm trying to think of what else I can add to it.
And if you like defected like a bunch of like if you had probably probable cause to defect, yeah. But if it's like you defected your mercenary unit that was pretty honorable, killed a bunch of your brothers in arms and all that, and then went off to like raid ships and sell slaves, stuff like that. Yeah, he'd really not like that.
I mean, that just sounds like a bad person as it is, but I can see it being like rip and tear.
Well, especially given what happened to Arden's mentor.
Yeah, that would be his.
Oh,
Most people would probably be indifferent to it, but he would be like, I have a strong urge to, like almost Goblin Slayer level. That would be his thing.
Yeah, just starts loading the shotgun as the Doom music intensifies.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of like things he would ask you as the captain, like when he breaches like a compound, would be like 3 levels. Like, do you want me to simply suppress and arrest? Do you want me to just go in and like basically like if you're armed, kill him, and if you surrender, take him prisoner? Or do you want me to go in there and just make sure nothing lives?
Oh, I could have some fun with that one. And just be glad I'm not playing my Mandalorian, because he'd probably
Be like,
choose the last option.
he'd like ask you like either level 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. I don't know. Like, would they have something like that in Scorpion Core?
Just be like, go Waco them.
I mean, that's a good question.
Because
I imagine they
culturally,
probably have.
I would think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say like Arden, because of how he's basically like a war orphan. His culture isn't a planetary thing. It literally is Scorpion Core. That is his culture.
Yeah. Like that group of people was his.
Yeah.
Why does he keep changing the anti-aliasing on this brush? That's weird.
I mean, he's basically an iron-blooded orphans character.
He is. I just hope he has more personality than the main character of Iron Blooded Orphans.
Also, that lady, the spear lady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Arden would like.
Chuayu.
Yeah, he wouldn't like abuse the relationship or something to have relations with her. Like, I think he would just go along with how, like, I wouldn't say he has strong feelings for her, but he wouldn't have strong feelings against her. Like, if they spend enough time together, maybe. But it's not like he's going out of his way to. He's definitely not a horn dog.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that, I would say, in that sense, he's kind of an innocent guy. Not innocent like Goody Two Shoes, but innocent like.
Well, he's definitely got the country, like the kind-hearted country boy turned soldier thing going.
Yeah, kind of.
Ah, that's the kind of character. Okay.
Like if she grabbed him and basically dragged him off, like.
Are we writing a fan fiction right now? Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm just saying. Like he's definitely not gonna like.
He's not brainless about romance, but he doesn't seek it without.
Yeah.
The other person would have to initiate.
He's a gentleman in the most dramatic way possible, I guess.
He probably doesn't know how to dance.
Mika from Iron Blooded Orphans? I mean, I think that's the main character's name.
Well,
I mean,
well, no, but we're currently talking about Andrew's character.
Oh, yeah, no, Andy's character.
Yeah,
because like
we did bring up Mikazuki from Iron.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Arden didn't have to
got it.
associate.
The trope is kind eyes and a loaded gun.
Ah.
I don't know about the kind eyes thing. Like,
It's just more like a metaphor.
yeah.
Like, he's got like a warm personality and stuff, but he'll kill you if he has to.
Like, so as far as his thing is for the captain is, I stay like at that behind and to your right, and basically like if I even get the make a move against her, and I'm going to be the one that breaks your legs and all that because you're the captain.
He is a most loyal of loyal type.
Yes.
And it's because you're the captain, no other reason.
I like to do aggressive negotiation. It's fine.
I'm a bit of a negotiator myself.
I mean, if Harriet's still in chat, you can just ask him about my negotiation skills when it comes to my Mandalorian character.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll find that out soon enough once we release the podcast, or release the episodes over in the Ox Unplugged pod, which
Or did
will definitely be this year at some point. I'm not going to say when, because I don't know that for certain. I'm not the one editing them. It's all Halion. He knows better than I do. But looking forward to that one. Let's see. I feel like it needs something yet. What do you guys think?
Maybe some like kind of obtrusive
do you think
neon stripes like along, because the blue on blue is good, but another color to like maybe some more flames or something like on the legs or something. Something to
Yeah, I could do that. We could add some.
It's a lot of
flames to
blue
it
on
yet.
blue down there.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, do you think his fish should have, like, quote-unquote brass knuckles? Or maybe
Well,
spikes on the knuckles or something like that, since it's a piston fist?
I could add some, probably.
I mean, I'm not, or rivets or something. Something to, like, add a little extra oomph when he, pile drives somebody.
I mean, they could very well have that. I just don't know, like, if you're going to be able to see it with the angle that it's at currently.
Yeah.
I do have spikes on the shield, so there is that. Flames are tricky to do. Kinda.
I forgot what these flames are technically called.
I don't know if they have a technical name. I just always kind of call them hot rod flames.
I think they have, yeah, but they have, like, a specific name, because I remember when I was looking into them.
I would not be surprised if they do.
A little weathering, Logic Nullifier suggests.
I could add some weathering.
Ninja Turtle suggests hunch nuts.
Just two
Punch
wrecking
nut.
balls.
Damn it!
Yeah, like truck. You
Damn
can't
it,
skip
Whacker.
the mech nuts, can you?
Okay, so this is...
You want to tell it?
Whacker bought truck nuts for Arden's mech.
Yeah. Which is
And
that's Whacker.
This is what's going to happen. He's not going to put him, like, dangling between the legs, but he will put it behind a shield.
I just love the idea of him getting a cockpit kill with like a mace that's just mech-sized truck nuts.
I wanted the idea of, like, he loses his sword or something, so he pulls the truck nuts from behind the shield and just starts beating another mech with them.
Yeah, and that pilot's like, what the fuck?
Of course, I don't think they'd be big. I don't know how big they are compared to the mech, Are they mace size, or are they just...
I mean, if it's truck nuts, they can get a pretty big size. I've seen them around. I don't really have truck nuts because I drive a Toyota Camry, but...
I don't know how I'd ask Storm Song, what's the damage ratio for like 8 tons of silicone or something like that? Break it, bust it on a...
8 tons? Well, if it's silicone, it's not going to do a hell of a lot. If they were made of metal, that'd be another story.
Oh, there's metal truck nuts.
Yeah, and if they're made of metal, then the answer would probably be something like, it'd be a light bludgeoning weapon,
I would imagine, given it's for a mech, they would be made of metal, so...
Yeah, but what if they, like, collide between the thighs, You don't want it to damage the mech.
I really can't believe we're having this conversation.
I mean,
Look, if you don't like it, you can talk to Whacker about it. It's his fault.
Andy, they put wrecking ball testicles on a transformer. I think we can make this work.
Yeah, but that's Mike's thing. He doesn't have any defense.
No, it's just more an example. Like, fucking Michael Bay, man. Is he actually making that Skibbity Toilet movie?
He has denied it.
Thank God.
Operative word, he has denied it. But this does not necessarily mean it isn't happening. It just means that either he has denied it, or he is making it and he is just not on contract to say so yet.
My question is, how the hell are you going to make something like that? It's Gary's mod.
That I cannot say.
You know what? I don't think I want answers to these questions because I just, Skibbity Toilet's annoying.
I think
I'll leave it at that because I don't like giving it attention.
I think Krispy is going to have a nightmare one day where it's like someone bursts in a room and says, "Krispy, Michael Bay has made the Skibbity movie completely out using AI, and the people love it, and the toys are everywhere."
That's kind of one of those I don't want to live on this planet anymore moments. And
Then he wakes up sweating. He wakes up sweating, and he looks to his wife next to him in bed, and he puts his hand on his shoulder, and she turns her head, and it's a Furby in a wig. And then he wakes up again. He wakes up again. Go to sleep, honey.
No comment.
What a strange world we are creating here.
Yeah, it's a little bonkers.
Look, there's got to be an SCP that involves a Furby.
I picked the wrong day to not have a beer during stream.
Uta. Come closer. Come closer.
I think the flames help a lot, actually, now that you mention it, Storm.
Yeah.
I can give it some more weathering here and there, too, I suppose. Got some time left in stream. Actually,
you could put something white on his right thigh, upper right thigh.
Something white?
Yeah. Did you see how you got the piston?
Yeah.
Something to kind of balance out that whiteness.
I mean, you got the shield to balance it out, really.
Okay,
right.
So there's a J SCP, so a joke SCP, about Furbies.
Yeah,
and there's like some fanon ones, but none that have made it onto the official site.
Gotcha. Well, they probably wouldn't make it on the official site because it would be licensed. Because remember what happened to Peanut?
Was
Poor
Peanut licensed?
So Peanut, the picture they used for Peanut was a licensed piece of art.
So that's why they changed it.
Yeah,
I wondered why it changed it.
No, like they weren't sued or anything. The actual artist, who was a Japanese sculptor, came to them and was like, "Hey, could you not?" And they were like, "Well, now we feel bad."
Well, I'm glad they did that as opposed to the opposite of what they could do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna use someone's artwork, please ask permission.
Well, they probably didn't. This was back in the day where nobody even thought
I know.
This did. I'm not justifying anything. I'm just.
It was different back then, I'm sure.
Well, that and nobody ever thought it was going to turn into this big thing.
Also
also doesn't help that in order to protect themselves in certain ways, they had to put themselves under Creative Commons license and so forth. And as a result, that technically meant that it was material being licensed. And so they had to be like, okay, yeah, because we're trying to put all of our stuff under Creative Commons, or not Commons, Commons, we can't put her stuff under Creative Commons, so we have to fix this. And they did. And while it was sad, most everyone handled it with maturity. Unlike that one asshole.
Yeah, the Russian guy.
That tried to copyright SCP to himself for making a movie.
Oh, wow. What an a-hole.
Yeah.
Well, they changed Peanut by basically updating the story where it chased a D member into that machine that changes things, and they got combined.
the refiner.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah. I forget which one that is. It's in the secret
it's
lab
the clockwork
game.
machine.
Yeah. That's the one you use in the game to upgrade your key card so you can escape if you're a D class. Or you tend to die in that room because the SCP shows up while you're doing it.
Yeah, SCP-914, the clockwork.
Yeah. I'm not well versed in SCP lore, so...
I was for a while.
I didn't update myself on that. I used to watch Vulcan.
Oh, I love Vulcan's work. Especially his one on the Scarlet King. Or, well, several. There have been several about the Scarlet King now. They
One of my
gather
early
around the
favorite
name.
ones. Yeah. One of my early favorite ones was the coffee machine. I'd like a cup of Joe, and you get this red viscous fluid, and it's like, what the hell? And it's like, oh man, Joe from accounting just fell over.
And
Oh,
it's his
God.
blood. They use it to get the cancer cells out of someone at one point, even though the person goes into recidivism a few weeks later. At one point, a guy asks it for relevant medical knowledge, and it does give it to him in cup form. Like, he drinks relevant medical knowledge and is able to save someone's life, but then he forgets it the next day.
Oh.
Well, at least he was able to use it to save someone's life, and it didn't end in a cursed way, so...
Yeah. Well, it's also a suggestion that it's probably because the machine is sentient or controlled by a sentience, because it was not a replicable moment, and it happened during an emergency during which the machine itself might have been in danger as well.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
I think in a game, like, if you order a cup of antimatter, it just ends the game or something like that.
I don't know if that happens in Secret Lab or not. Probably wouldn't, because it would end around really quickly, but, you know. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've played.
Anyway, how do you guys think about our Punk Rex? Or Punk Puncher?
Punk Puncher sounds like the worst possible wrestler.
Punk Puncher XR. Or XLR.
Sensible.
I don't know what I call
We
him.
dig giant robot.
I miss Megas XLR. That's such a fun show.
I'll kick you in your balls.
No,
Nice.
don't tempt me with a good time. Alright. Yeah. I think he turned out pretty good. I wasn't sure how he was gonna go. I thought it was gonna turn into some curse shit. Oh god, speaking of curse shit.
Why are you doing the horror version of it, or it has the haste effect on it?
Because the Clip Studio has this wonderful little button where it keeps the original image when you're transforming it. I don't know why that's a feature, but yeah. Sometimes it just turns itself on because I probably hit a key or something and then that happens.
You know, in video games where like the bad guy gets some sort of weird haste effect and they kind of get that look to him and they can run around. I bet that mech has that ability. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he did. I want to add a shadow real quick for me standing on. Hold on. Ah, that's the colors. Okay. Once again, the layers, they confuse me.
Nice.
It has speakers on it that blares bagpipe music.
Megas XLR had a surprisingly great soundtrack to it if you're into, like, punk and metal music.
It's a proper rocker, that one.
Oh, yeah. It's in my playlist. Yeah, there we go. Give me a big old Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh, God.
Shut up.
I just had a horrible idea for the next stream we could do.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to say it on stream because I kind of want it to be a surprise, but...
Out a hedgehog body pillow?
No, I took my own take on the Sonic characters because I've never really played a Sonic game and I think Sonic's kind of annoying, so I could have some fun there.
I wonder what Sonic characters we would be.
Andy, you'd be Dr. Eggman.
Yes.
Whacker would be Big the Cat. Storm Song, you would probably be Tails. Actually, I might be Big the Cat. I'm not sure. I forget. There's so many friggin' characters, and I don't particularly want to get invested in Sonic lore to figure out who's who.
I like the idea that recently Dr. Eggman likes fighting Sonic because he enjoys the battle. And
There are versions where that's sort of true.
It like pushes him to innovate.
Somebody just wanted to have sex with Sonic.
Well, according to some people, yes.
I'm sure there's some slash fic out there that we don't need to read on stream, and it's horrifying to think about.
I bring it up.
No, there was this one Game Grumps bit where it's like they're like playing a Sonic game, and Eggman's just like like trying to have sex with Sonic, and Sonic's just like, I'm just here to fight. You're like, oh, I guess I'll put my pants back on. Just like, wait, you're naked? Like,
well, there's a one that became famous where it's like, you're gonna piss on my wife? I'll piss on the moon!
Oh, yeah, two best friends play. Or I think that was them.
No, it was...
I believe it. That seems like their
new
kind
group
of shit.
I'm not sure of, but... He's the one that does that skit where he's fighting, where Dr. Robotnik is fighting Frieza. And he's like, you made the iPhone? I'm gonna kill you. He says, no, I'll kill you first!
Oh, that guy. I think that's Lothero. Yeah, it is Lothero. Because, oh god,
I'm using the Nokia.
Yeah, no, those videos are fun because they do all sorts of great animations with it.
Yeah.
I know the exact clip too. That's such a good one. Yeah, they have like a.
You're gonna be making Wi-Fi calls on a tablet for the rest of your life.
I'm going golden gold base.
That's kind of cruel.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fight. Well, the problem is that Frieza said that Robotnik didn't know how to send an email, and then Robotnik got very upset.
He did admit to inventing the iPhone, though, so...
I don't know... Well, okay, now I want to see that Steve Jobs, like, masturbatory movie they made, but just it's Robotnik instead of Steve Jobs. Like, the one that was, like, Ashton Kutcher was in it, and it was just, like, trying to make Steve Jobs, like, not appear as a sociopath like he actually was.
Logic Nullifier says, good stream, Krispy. Your art is really good, and it's getting better impressively fast.
Thank you. I actually, it's actually one of the reasons I like doing streaming. I think I definitely am seeing a lot of progress in terms of just how quick I can do stuff.
You were also forced to improvise quite a bit during it, so I mean
that also does help too. That is a fun part of it. It gets me to kind of think on my feet, which is kind of nice because I'm the kind of person that can get very much wrapped up in details. So
yes,
but thank you, I appreciate it. Oh god, Social Network with Sonic characters instead of Zuckerberg's soundtrack by Depeche Mode. That is an acid trip of an idea, and I just want to see the trailer for it. That's amazing. Alright, well, I think we're getting to the end of stream here. It's getting to 6:30 on my end, so thank you everybody for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed stream. Definitely going to be back next week, planning on being back next week, so we hope to see you guys then. Yeah. Till then, have a good rest of your week, everybody.
Bye.